Yes, this is CMA M. Venkateshwarlu, BSc, MCOM, FCMA. My YouTube channel is Venkat Manikyala. The main purpose of starting of this YouTube channel is to teach learners to professionals in a commerce in a simple language. So I all of you request like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Hi viewers, in this video we'll discuss about the depreciation accounting. So the first of all, what we do is what is in depreciation, what are the characteristics of the depreciation and causes of depreciation and reasons for depreciation and how many varieties of fixed assets, and for that what kind of depreciation we can provide. So all those we'll discuss now, and also some of the important terms we use in the depreciation, that also we discuss now, and methods of depreciation, that also we'll discuss. After that, each and every method will have in separate videos, right? So particularly most similar kind of methods will have in separate videos. So in this first video, we'll discuss about the introduction and major part of the depreciation theory, right? So what is a depreciation first? What is a depreciation? Depreciation means what is this? Depreciation is a permanent decrease in the value of an asset for any cause. We may have so many causes, but any cause, with some cause, the permanent reduction in the value of the asset is a depreciation, right? So the main characteristics of the depreciation provision is it is based on the cost price we have to provide, right? Based on cost price, and we should not provide on the market price. It must be cost price, right? And one more thing is it is a process of allocation of total cost to the its useful life, right? It's an allocation of cost to its useful life. This is one of the most important characteristics, right? Total depreciation should not exceed the cost price. That means depreciation should not increase cost minus scrap value, right? This means we are providing the more depreciation than the cost, whatever the expenses we incurred. No, it is not allowed, right? That's what it's meaning. The main causes of the depreciation are wear and tear due to constant use, because we are using constantly that asset in the business, right? So because of that, it may have an depreciated, right? And some of the reason for legal expiry. Let us say some variety of assets like patents, whether you use it or not, because of time period, it automatically get depreciated, that value. So that kind of thing maybe. And one more thing, another variety is an obsolescence of technology. It's an obsolescence of technology means it's not a regular kind of depreciation actually, right? So one day we estimate to depreciate 10 years, let us say. After 5 years, that asset may not be useful because of so many changes, because of so many technical changes. So if that is the provision we have to make, that is called as an obsolescence, right? Reason for that is an obsolescence. And some of the most important reasons why the depreciation has to be provided, one of the reason is conversion of fixed cost into expenses. For this, we should have some important discussion. So expenditure. What is the meaning of expenditure here? Expenditure is an outflow of money. Outflow, right? outflow of money from our business to outside, right? Whatever we spend to outside is called as an expenditure, right? If that expenditure is spent for purchasing an asset, we may spend expenditure for the purchasing of an asset or for the incurring of the day-to-day expenses, right? So if at all this is for day-to-day expenses, automatically this expense is charged to the P&L account, right? Because it's a nominal account, it automatically charges to the P&L account. But whereas if expenditure is spent to purchase an asset that is more than 1 year useful life of that asset, if we purchase that, we don't charge to the P&L account, right? That goes and sit in the balance sheet. Let us say if it continuously sit in the balance sheet, then how can we find out the real profit? So to know the real profit, what we have to do is, and this asset to the extent of its useful life, right? So to the extent of, let us say it's in useful of 3 years, so it has to convert into expense by way of depreciation for 1 year, it becomes an expense. Depreciation for second year, it becomes an expense. Depreciation of third year, it becomes expense. So automatically after 3 years it will be an asset is in zero, right? So this is the main purpose we are providing depreciation. Otherwise, whatever we spend for towards an asset, it won't comes into the picture of expenses. So by that, P&L account won't, we don't debit into P&L account, so that profit automatically increases even though we spend the expenses, right? So that is one of the main reason why we provide depreciation, right? So if at all we show like this only, it gives an true and fair view of the profit or loss. Otherwise, automatically, because of non-providing or depreciation, profit will increase, or if it is a loss will decrease, right? So that is one of the reason. One more reason is, then let us say if we continuously provide depreciation 1 year, 2 years, like 3 years, and that amount is we are not going to incur anywhere, right? So that funds remains as it is in the organization. So by investing outside or keeping it aside, or because of some reason, we can repurchase that. With this depreciation, we can again one more, after completion of this asset value, we can purchase one more asset. This is also one of the main reason we provide depreciation, right? So these are all the characteristics and reasons why we provide depreciation, right? So to which kind of assets we provide depreciation, that is also one of the important, right? So what are the assets, how many kind of varieties of assets we have, that also we'll discuss now, right? Fixed assets, we have a fixed assets, only to the fixed assets only we provide depreciation, right? Fixed assets. So in the fixed assets we can say tangible assets, number one, A variety and B variety, right? So A is in tangible assets, B is an intangible assets, all right? We have two varieties of assets, fixed assets, that is one is an tangible assets, another one is an intangible assets. So what are the tangible assets? All of you know, right? Now we'll discuss. Number one, land. Land everybody knows, right? Land is one of the fixed asset. And machinery, right? Machinery one of the fixed asset. And we have a furniture, we have an furniture, and we have vehicles, we have vehicles. These are all the, certain kind of fixed assets, and we have a certain kind of natural fixed assets also we have. Those are all oil fields, and we have in mines, we have in quarries, right? Quarries, we have in quarries, and in intangible assets we have in patents, we have one more reason, copyrights, leasehold assets, leaseholds, we have in trademarks, right? We have in goodwill. This is also an intangible asset, right? We have an preliminary expenses. These are nothing but to create an organization. Whatever we amount we spend, that we write as an preliminary expenses, right? These are all the intangible assets. These are all the tangible assets, right? The land, if we don't provide no depreciation, because the land is not getting any depreciation, automatically every time it only gets appreciation, no depreciation, right? So that's the reason land we don't provide any depreciation, right? So machinery, furniture, vehicles, these are all fixed assets. These are all and not an these oil fields, mines, quarries are the natural, right? These are all the artificial. These are all the artificial assets. These are all the natural assets, right? So for all these things we provide depreciation, right? Patents, copyrights, leaseholds, these are all not in permanent, right? These are all total 7 are intangible assets, but out of 7, patents, copyrights, leaseholds, these are all time bound, right? These are all having time limit. But whereas trademarks, goodwill, and preliminary expenses won't have time limit, right? No time limit. So let us say patents we take for 5 years or 2 years, like that. Copyrights also will take for certain period, not in permanently. So leaseholds also, let us say 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, even sometimes 99 year also will take lease, right? So but it has a time limit. But whereas trademarks and goodwill and preliminary expenses, these won't have any time limits. But thing is, for all these things, for all these 7, we have to write off over a period of time. But these won't have any period of time. But even then, we write off with a reasonable time period, right? So for fixed assets, tangible fixed assets, for land we don't provide any depreciation. For machinery, furniture, vehicles, these are all the artificials. So for this we provide depreciation. For whatever we provide for these, we call it as an depreciation, right? Depreciation. Whatever provide for this, we provide as an depreciation. So this is we call it as an depletion, right? We'll discuss what are these terms, right? So for all these intangible assets, whatever we provide, those are called as an amortization, right? So now we have an 3 varieties, right? in the within the depreciation, providing the amount also, whether we find a different words, but accounting treatment is same, whether it's a depreciation or it's a depletion or amortization, accounting treatment won't change, journal entry won't change, right? Ledger accounts also won't change. But what it is, what does it mean, that we have to find, we have to know, right? So see here, once again I'm explaining. Intangible assets, in total fixed assets we have tangible assets, intangible assets. Tangible assets are which we can see and touch, those are tangible assets. Which we cannot see, we cannot touch, those are intangible assets, right? So intangible assets, land is one of the fixed asset, but we don't provide any depreciation. And machinery, furniture, vehicles, and even buildings, right? Those are all artificial, but we create, man created, right? So for these we provide depreciation over a period of its useful life, right? But within different methods that we will discuss later. But we provide depreciation by any method. And we have an oil fields, mines and quarries. These also gets depreciated by way of usage, right? So those are natural in nature. So those whatever we provide for this one not called as a depreciation, but we call it as a depletion, right? So for this intangible assets, patents, copyright, leaseholds, trademarks, goodwill, and preliminary expenses, whatever we spend, that won't come back for us, whether you use it or not, don't use, right? So for those kind of things, whatever we provide, that amount that is called as an amortization, right? So now let us see important words which we use. I think is this clear to you, all of you, right? So once we are clear with this preliminary thing, then we can discuss about the certain important words. What are those when we are using in the while doing problems, or let us say in the lessons or theory kind of things, they may give certain words, right? So what are those words that we must be able to explain ourselves, right? So one of the important is an depreciation. Depreciation, right? What we write for this depreciation, right? What we write? For whom it is, for which kind of assets we write? Artificial assets, fixed assets, tangible assets only we provide depreciation, right? So the depreciation is in utility usage of physical usage of that asset for a particular for a production point of view, for any kind of things, right? So main product, whatever main product we use, for that purpose we provide. So we use those assets, that for that whatever is providing, that is called as an depreciation, right? Next is an depletion. Depletion, right? So depletion means these are also fixed assets, but these are all not an these are all the natural fixed assets. Whatever we get back, let us suppose in the particular field we have 1,000 metric tons of, let us say, coal is, right? So whatever we extract from that, so based on the extraction, whatever we spend towards that amount, toward that lease, so we charge as a depreciation, but that is called as a depletion, right? The one more thing is an amortization. So amortization is used for the intangible assets, right? Which are, which cannot get back that amount, we cannot get back, but we have to provide as a charge to our P&L account. For that, those kind of assets, those kind of intangible assets, whatever we provide, for that is called as an amortization, right? The one more thing is an obsolescence. Obsolescence. So obsolescence means this is not a regular kind of thing, depreciation. So we may feel it's an we may charge over a period of time a useful life of it's an asset, but suddenly because of technology change or because of productivity increase in some other asset, right, it is useful. If at all we use that also useful, but if we get in that asset, our productivity will be increased. So in that case we don't have any option than replacing with a new one, right? At that time whatever we lose, whatever the asset value we are writing it off, that is called as an obsolescence, right? So the one more important thing is an dilapidation. 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 Dilapidation means this is some kind of expenses are required to recoup. Let us for example, this is generally dilapidation comes to the natural kind of assets, fixed assets, but natural kind of things like we have discussed no natural kind of things, oil fields, mines, quarries. So for that, let us say we are extracting the material, we are extracting the production. So while extracting that assets, that field, that land get damages, right? So once let us say everything is over, all extractions will be over, then when we are handing it over to the owner, or for uses of regular usage to the normal people, so that we cannot use directly, already it gets disturbed, right? To make it is a normal, let us say to covering that all these damages, we have to spend some amount, right? So to spend that amount, we have to provide along with the depreciation or along with the depletion. Along with depletion, we have to supposed to whatever amount we are supposed to spend to equalize, to neutralize the damage is called as an dilapidation, right? So dilapidation expenses are over and above the depletion expenses, right? Depletion is an whatever we extracted for that production we spent. So dilapidation is an whatever damages causes because of that extraction. So that is an dilapidation, right? So dilapidation is in one more extra expenses we are supposed to provide for along with depletion, right? These are all the important words which are required in the depreciation, right? So now we had an introduction part. Now how many methods we have to provide depreciation? There are only theory, right? So when we go to accounting part, right, we have to account for that whatever we spent amount, so that we have to account for to convert assets to expense, right? Conversion, how to convert? So what are the different methods we have? We have so many methods, but important methods only we discuss, right? So one of the methods of depreciation, right? So one of the method is an straight line method. So this is also called as an with the abbreviation we can SLM. Frequently we call it as an SLM, straight line method, right? In other way also we can call it as an fixed installment method. Why it is called fixed installment method? Because the depreciation will remain same to its entire life, right? So what is the principle for this straight line method? So under SLM method, depreciation depreciation is equal to cost price minus scrap value divided by number of years of its useful life, right? So in this is an depreciation. To find out the depreciation, let us suppose D is equal to depreciation, D is equal to depreciation, C is equal to cost, right? So S is equal to scrap value, N is equal to number of useful life, right? So for this formula, so this by this we can find out the what is the depreciation during that year. But as far as a percentage, when we say it's a percentage, then we can say rate of depreciation is equal to depreciation, that is in D, divided by cost value, right? So this cost is not an after deducting the depreciation, total cost, whatever is spent, that cost, right? So depreciation per year or per period. So depreciation per period divided by total cost, we will get an rate. So to get that 100 plus 100, we have to multiply with 100, right? By this we can get a rate of the depreciation. Here in this case, R is equal to rate of depreciation, right? This is the one variety of calculation of depreciation under the straight line method. For example, let us say 10,000 is an cost, right? Let us say cost is an 10,000. Scrap value would be in, let us say, 2,000, right? Then the number of useful life is in, let us suppose 4 years. The rate we have to depreciation we have to find out, right? Depreciation we have to find out. So to find out the depreciation, the formula is in C by C, that is equal to cost, that is in 10,000 minus scrap value is in 2,000, right? Scrap value is in 2,000 divided by number of years is in 4. So that is equal to 8,000 divided by 4. That is equivalent to 20,000, right? 2,000 per annum, right? So per annum 2,000. So rate of the depreciation here we have to see what is the rate of the depreciation principle for this is in D by C. So D is in 2,000, right? 2,000 divided by, if the cost is in 10,000 into 100, that gives how much? 20%, right? Rate of depreciation under straight line method is in 20%, right? Depreciation per annum is in 2,000, right? This is an one method. Anyhow, we will do a separate problem for this, right? How to account for journal entries and ledger accounts, we do it, right? This is one of the method. All of you noted down, right? Next method we discuss is an written down value method, right? Number 2 is an written down value method. With abbreviation we can say WDV. Generally everybody called as in like this. So or otherwise also the other name is in diminishing value method. Diminishing value method. So diminishing means decreasing, right? So decreasing value method, WDV method. What is is there any principle for this? We have principle, but in generally we cannot calculate it. We cannot calculate without calculator, right? With your scientific calculator. But anyhow, we'll discuss that formula. R is equal to, that is in depreciation rate, is equal to 1 minus n to the power of 1 minus n to the power of scrap value divided by cost, S by C. So 1 minus n to the power of S by C. But after this we will get in some decimals. With this we have to multiply 100, right? So how to calculate that we'll do with some example. Let us say we'll take previous example. In the previous example, n is equal to 4 years, right? Scrap value is equal to 2000, right? So cost is equal to 10,000. That by taking that example, we do a rate. We find out the rate. Generally, in the diminishing value method, the rate of the depreciation would be more as compared to straight line method. That is we can say simply we can say it's in with by heart, right? We can say written down value is in more as compared to straight line method, right? So 1 minus n means here 4th root of 2000 by 10,000, right? Whole multiplied by 100, right? So now 1 minus 4th root of 1 by 5, right? 2 by 10 is 1 by 5, or else we can say 1 by 5 is equivalent to 1 by 5 is equivalent to 0.2, right? Directly we can write 0.2 whole multiplied by with 100, right? So in this case 1 minus 4th root means 0.2, 1 by 4 is an under root, right? So if some root is in, directly we can write 4, under root no, so that's reason 1 by 4. So into 100. So continuation to this, 1 minus 0.2, 1 by 4 means it's in 0.25, under 0.25, right? Whole multiplied by 100. So in this example, let us see how to calculate this. In the calculator, we have an 0.2 scientific calculator is important here, right? Let us say in a cell phone also we have an scientific calculators, right? So in scientific you go to the phone, right, and do like this. If your screen changes, we can find out the scientific calculator here. See, in the scientific calculator, 0.2, 0.2, power of 0.25, right? Here the power, how can we type here? The power here, e to the power of no. So e is nothing but here the e is 0.2 for us, right? E is 0.2, right? Power how much? 0.25, right? So 2 to the power of 0.25 means here in calculator 1 minus 0.2 power 0.25, right? So in calculator we can find out e to the power of x. This kind of symbol is there. E is nothing but an 0.2, right? X is an 0.25. So in the e place you write 0.2. and in the x place 0.25. So the answer will be an 0.6687, right? 6687 overall multiplied by 100. So 1 minus 0.6687 is an 0.33 and certain fraction of decimals into 100. So that is nothing but a 33%, right? So under the WDV method, the percentage is in 33%. Previously, under the straight line method, the percentage is in 20%, right? So that is the difference between written down value method and straight line method, right? So this is a second method. Now we'll discuss even the other methods also, right? But for other methods, there are no such kind of formulas, right? The other thing, whatever the other tasks, those are all will be given in the question itself. Even diminishing value method, there is a WDV method also. We need not calculate all these things to know, all of you, how it is coming. So for that purpose only I have discussed all these things. Otherwise, in the examination we are not supposed to calculate. They only give the percentage directly, 33% of WDV method, like that, right? Third one is an annuity method. Annuity method. Under this method, what happens, this is not only an cost division, but also we feel that this cost we invested in the business for during that year, right? So let us suppose 10,000 we purchased machinery. So in normal depreciation methods, or straight line or written down value method, we don't consider any interest. We consider that our expenses are 10,000. But whereas in annuity method, we consider that the 10,000 is also invested. Let us say if we deposit in the bank or if we invest in the other business, we get some interest, right? Some return. So that interest also we consider. In this method, cost plus interest also charged to the asset account. So that we'll discuss while we're doing the annuity method. The other one is, fourth one is an sinking fund method. This is also one of the most important one. So the other one, this is also called as a depreciation fund method. This is also called as a depreciation fund method. So it is like a sinking fund. What we do is every year depreciation, instead of keeping in the business, we invest outside. Whatever interest or return comes from that, again we reinvest in the next year along with regular depreciation. So this is what in the sinking fund method, most of the examination, the professional examination and degree examination will get this kind of. In this method, we have problems, right? So this is one of the important one. The other one is in sum of digits method. Sum of digits method. So sum of digits here, sum of digits means this we have simple problem. Depreciation is equivalent to cost, regular asset cost into sum of digits. Number here the sum of digits. Here the remaining life. For example, one asset is useful 3 years, right? So for that 1, 2, 3. Total how many digits? We cannot say it's 3. Right? Digits means 1, 2, 3 and 3, 3, 6. So here the digits are 6, right? In this case, let us suppose the cost is 50,000 for example, right? 50,000 into, in the first year we have to come in reverse order, right? So the 3 divided by 6. In the second year, instead of 3, it comes 2. In the third year, it comes 1. Right? This is how we are supposed to calculate in the sum of digits method. That also we can discuss while we are doing problems. Right? The sixth model, we have an double declining method. Double declining method. Actually, in India, we don't follow this method. Sometimes USA people generally they use this kind of method. So this is very simple. Let us say interest is calculated as per SLM, straight line method, and it is multiplied with 2, double. Straight line method percentage we find out, and that into 2. But while calculating depreciation, they follow written down value method. Let us suppose as per SLM 20% is there, right? So multiply by 2, that is your 40%. So 40% they write as an WDV method. In the previously when we were discussing the SLM is in 20%, as WDV is in 33%, right? So in this case SLM multiplied by 2, that is in 40%, instead of 33% 40%. When we follow in this method, automatically depreciation will be, initially it gets more depreciation, right? So this is one of the method, but generally we don't follow in India, right? But anyhow, as a student, as a professional, as an academician, we must be able to know all these kind of methods, right? The other one is an insurance policy method. Insurance policy method. So insurance policy method means, previously in sinking fund method, what we are doing, we are getting depreciation every year. That depreciation we are investing outside, right? And again we get an interest or return from that year, and this and along with depreciation we spend. After some time, after the expiry of that years, after depreciation period is over, then we sell outside and we get some amount. That is what is an in sinking fund. This is also almost similar to that, but thing here is we take a policy and we get an insurance amount. Let us say we take a policy with a depreciation 2,000 every year. Let us suppose, so 2,000 every year we pay, and at the end of the year, let us say 5 years or 10 years, we get the policy amount along with this policy amount plus some extra amount as a bonus or interest. So that is an insurance policy method. Eighth one is an revaluation method. Actually, it's not a method, revaluation method. So here there will be no formula. Every year and we revaluate the asset, and the difference between revaluated asset and the actual previous asset balance, the difference between these two is in depreciation, right? The other one is in depletion method. As we discussed earlier, depletion means it's for wasting assets, for natural assets, whatever we extract, right? So total cost divided by number of units estimated multiplied with that year extraction. That kind of calculation we do in the depletion method. So these also will generally get in problems, but specifically not like this, we also get in problem. And machine hour method, this is also one of the method, machine hour method. So this is also similar to this depletion method. How it is in, let us say we purchased one machinery, we know that machinery works for 10,000 hours. Let us suppose 10,000 hours, otherwise 1 lakh hours. total cost whatever we spent divided by number of hours, right? Total cost divided by number of hours, maximum number of hours that machinery works, multiplied by that period how many hours machine worked. So number of hours worked. So by this we can get the depreciation, right? These are all the top 10 methods we have we are discussing. So I do some certain problems in the next video for the straight line method and written down value method, one video, and annuity method, right? Annuity method and sinking fund method in another video, right? The remaining of not that also will do later, right? Thank you one and all for watching my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is in Venkat Manikyala. I once again request all of you to like this video and subscribe my YouTube channel and share my this YouTube channel with your friends so that they also easily can learn the subject. Thank you.